And we are back. NFL playoff predictions for this final episode of this year's predictions. We are going to be predicting every single game of the playoffs, wild card, divisional, championship, Super Bowl. This is my prediction, my bracket. If you want to know the website, it's playoffpredictors.com. It's very simple. As you can see, the Rams and the Broncos right there. They do have the bye week. Here are the other matchups. It's going to be top down. So Patriots, Chargers would play each other. And then Bears, Packers play each other. And then Jaguars, Bills, Eagles, 49ers, Steelers, Texans, Panthers, Rams. You got the gist. To quickly recap our Week 18, though, I ended up going 13-3, getting only the Cowboys, Giants, Seahawks, 49ers, and Browns, Bengals wrong. There were a few games I did switch. I announced on Twitter. The two I remember, in case there were more, were the Commanders, Eagles, and the Chargers, Broncos. Putting my total on the season to 181, 90-1. So a 2-1 ratio. Very good season for me. Not quite as good as last year by about 4 games, but hey, we'll take it, And then going 15-3 in my locks of the week, with the Jaguars being my final one, getting the win. All right, enough rambling. Here are the teams. We're going to start with top left. Like I said, we're going to start with the AFC, move our way down to the NFC. Starting out, we have the Patriots at the 2 seed and the Chargers at the 7th seed. The Patriots 14-3, Chargers 11-6. Now, the big thing for this one is the Chargers did rest their starters in Week 18, so maybe they were prepared to play the Patriots, knowing if they lost, they could fall all the way down to the 7th. That's exactly what happened. Resting their starters, maybe giving them an extra little time to prepare for this game. With the Patriots, however, they're such a good team. This is going to be played in Foxborough, so it's going to be colder than the Chargers are used to. Obviously, out in the West, it is pretty warm. Los Angeles and such. So I am going to take the Patriots. No upsets yet. Patriots, in my opinion, are going to be moving on. Moving on to the next game, now we have the Jaguars and the Bills. Jaguars are the 3 seed at 13-4. Bills 12-5 as the 6 seed. The Bills did rest their starters, but with that being said, they absolutely curb stomped the Jets. Meanwhile, the Jaguars did play their starters, but they absolutely curb stomped the Titans. I think this is going to be probably the best game we're going to see in this wild card weekend, in my personal opinion, in terms of, not necessarily hype, but in terms of the actual game. And I do think the Bills are going to pull off the upset in this first one. I just think the Bills, with their playoff experience, they're going to know how to last into those later rounds, barely losing in a divisional or going all the way to the championship game. I don't think this is going to be any different. I'm going to take the Bills in this one. With our final one, we have the 4-seeded Steelers at 10-7, at the 5-seeded Texans, who are 12-5. This is going to be played in Pittsburgh. That's the key thing to note is, the 4 seeds, even with the worst record, both of them have. A little spoiler for the other one. It is going to be played in their home stadium. With that being said, Houston's defense is just so good. I think they're going to win this one. I think this is going to be a really bad playoff game, personally. I think the winner honestly might have to score 20 points to win. I think this is going to be a very low-scoring, defensive-reliant game. But with the Texans and how good their defense is, I think they're going to win this one. Moving on to the NFC side, we have the 2-seeded Bears at 11-6 at the 7-seeded Packers, who are 9-7-1. The Bears losing to the Lions while playing starters, so not a great look for them. We'll see, if they were just saving their strength. Saw how Philadelphia was doing, kind of trying but not necessarily going full force. And then the Packers resting their starters against the Vikings. With that being said, I am a Packers fan. I'm going to take Green Bay to upset in this one. Bears have not been in the playoffs in a few years. This is Ben Johnson's first year as head coach. Even when he was in Detroit last year, he went one and done. With Green Bay's experience and how they played in the regular season, Green Bay, I believe did significantly better than the Bears in the regular season. So I am going to go with the Packers. The Packers just played better against the Bears in the regular season, winning one of those, and then the other one, choke job, they lost, but, you literally take one situation away, they win that one. I do think this is going to be a great game, obviously. 2 NFC North teams, the oldest rivalry in football. I do have the Packers winning this one, though. Moving on now, we have the 3-seeded Eagles at the 6-seeded 49ers. Eagles 11-6, coming off of a loss to the Commanders, but they did rest their starters. And then we have the 49ers getting absolutely dog-walked by the Seahawks. Wasn't a blowout game, but the 49ers only able to score a field goal. They are 11-6, or 12-5, representing that 6th seed. They had a chance to get the 1 seed, ultimately unable to get it. Would have been really nice considering the Super Bowl is played in Santa Clara, aka where they play. So if they would have got the 1 seed, the path to the playoffs would have ran through San Francisco. With that being said, I think unfortunately for the 49ers, even with that being said, they are going to be one and done. I think the Eagles are going to win this one. They had that extra week of rest, extra week to prepare. It's kind of like a mini bye week. Obviously you don't get that actual bye week like the Seahawks do. But, you get that little week to prepare. Regular season, meant something, obviously. The Bears did lose, so the Eagles could have jumped to the 2 seed. They ultimately seemed content with the 3 seed. Then finally, we had the 4-seed Panthers at 8-9, getting in with a losing record. And then the Rams, who are 12-5, at the 5 seed. These two teams did play earlier in the season with the Panthers actually getting the win. So that could be a factor. However, I think the Rams are such a good team. I think the Rams are going to move on with relative ease and win this one. We're going to scroll up for the divisional round. Very simple. We're going to same thing. Start with the AFC. Work our way down. Starting out, we have the 1-seeded Broncos at the 6-seeded Bills. Broncos we didn't talk about obviously, but the Broncos 14-3. They ended up getting the 1 seed with a blowout win over the Chargers, who, granted, were resting their starters. Who knows what could have happened if that wasn't the situation. But that's the situation we're talking about. That's the situation we're in. And then the Bills. This should be a really good matchup. You have a really good defense against an offense with, arguably the best quarterback in the league. Guy who can make it both on the pass and the run. Been known to play a bit of superhero ball. We'll see, how that turns out for him. But I actually do have the Bills winning this one. I don't like that Broncos offense, even against the Bills defense that has been very inconsistent. I do think that Bills defense is going to do well. I think this is actually going to be one where the Broncos are probably going to lose by multiple scores. I think the Bills are just a better team, especially in this kind of situation. No offense to the Broncos, but I've been saying it all year. You guys are finding ways to win games that, you probably shouldn't have any business winning. But, that doesn't matter. But I do think your luck is going to run out here. Moving on now, we have the Patriots at the Texans. Patriots 2 seed, Texans 5 seed. This should be a really good matchup. We have one of the 2 MVP candidates in my eyes, Drake May, Matthew Stafford being the other one, against the best defense by far in the league. Them or the Seahawks go hand in hand. But I do think I'd give the nod to the Texans. So this should be a really fun matchup between, a high-powered offense with, a young quarterback doing it all, and then a defense that has, literally bailed its offense out multiple games. I do think the Patriots are going to sneak away with the win. I do think it's going to be a pretty depressing day for the Texans defense. I don't think they're going to necessarily be horrible. I just think they're probably going to allow close, high 20s, maybe even 30 points. Too much to where that offense can't keep up, unfortunately for them. Like I said, they've been bailed out a bunch of times this year by that defense. Not going to get any favors this week. Give me the Patriots to move on. And we'll have a little AFC East matchup in the championship game. Moving on now, we have the Rams and the Eagles. Eagles 3 seed, Rams 5 seed. This should be a really fun matchup. This is the reigning Super Bowl champs against, in my opinion, probably the best team in the NFC. I know, they're at the 5 seed and whatnot, but that's my personal opinion. I'm allowed to have one. Don't get mad. I actually really do think this is going to be a great game between, obviously the Eagles trying to repeat and then the Rams. The Rams were the closest team to beating them last year. And, they only lost by 6 points, I believe. So, could we see history repeat itself, or will the Rams alter the book? I'm going to take the Rams. I think they're altering it. Moving on now, we have the 1-seeded Seahawks against the 7-seeded Packers. Seahawks 14-3. We didn't talk about them either. They curb stomped the Broncos. I'm just misspeaking today. I apologize. Curb stomped the 49ers in Santa Clara, won that game, got the 1 seed. Their defense is ferocious. Their offense, when it is clicking, it is, magnificent. The only thing that concerns me is Sam Darnold. He does have a bit of a turnover problem that does, put him in a hole that's tough to dig out, but they always seem to find a way. with that being said, I don't even care. I'm taking the Seahawks to win this one. I'm sorry, Packers. I mean, I'm a Packers fan, but really, the Bears I can understand. But I can't pick against the Seahawks. I mean, they're just that good of a team. Moving on to the championship game, who will be representing their side in the Super Bowl? We have the Seahawks at the 1 seed, the Rams at the 5 seed, a little NFC West matchup. I think home field advantage is going to be playing a huge factor in this. Obviously, Seattle has been known for arguably the loudest stadium in the league. And with that being said, I think the Rams are going to find a way. I think this is going to be a great matchup. Both these teams played really well against each other in the regular season. The key thing is the Rams actually did really well. The Seahawks really struggled, but somehow won one of those games. Just shows that their bend, never break mentality could get them to win in this situation. I think this is going to be an absolutely amazing championship week, by the way, between two divisions, assuming I'm right, which I'm always right. Just don't check my picks or anything. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Rams to win this one. Go ahead and go to the Super Bowl. And then we have the Patriots at the 2 seed, Bills at the 6 seed. Another huge one. Both these teams been by far the most dominant in their division for the past 25 years probably. I mean, you go back to the Patriots' 20-year dynasty, you have the Bills who are, the new kings, but have unfortunately not been able to reach that Super Bowl yet. What perfect way for them to do it than to beat the Patriots, the team who's held them back for the last quarter century. With that being said, I'm giving it to the Patriots. I'm sorry, Bills fan. Your heartbreak's going to be here another season. You get this close. Finally, Patrick Mahomes not in there. Your kryptonite. But the new dynasty of the Patriots is going to take over and get the win there. And to look at the Super Bowl, this does not matter. There is no home field advantage. I mean, this is being played in Santa Clara. So, honestly, might give it to the Rams, might give it to the Patriots. Who knows? A bunch of 49ers fans might show up just to, insult the Rams, try and hurt them. But at the same time, it is pretty close to LA, so can't rule that out. This is the two MVP candidates, in my opinion. Unfortunately, well, I shouldn't say unfortunately. I think this is how it should be. The MVP gets decided at the end of the regular season, so it's already probably been decided, or, it's going to be decided by the end of this week. But, I mean, this could have been a great one where it's like, the winner gets the MVP. But, nonetheless, I am going to go as my Super Bowl champion, the Los Angeles Rams. I think they are the best team in the league, in my personal opinion. They are the most consistent. They have a veteran quarterback who's been in this situation before. He's won the Super Bowl a few years ago. You have that young receiver. You got Cooper Kupp on his magical run. You got Puka Nacua kind of to hopefully mimic that. And, yeah. You have Aaron Donald. You now have Jared Verse. So, you've not necessarily kept those guys around. Obviously, Cooper Kupp now in Seattle, but he has had a horrible season. Aaron Donald obviously retired. Matthew Stafford somehow having a career year potentially. But you've replaced them really well. I think this is your real good chance, potential Cinderella story for Matthew Stafford. Have him end going into the sunset as a Super Bowl champion. Who knows if he retires, though. Maybe even a guy like Devontae Adams could also call it quits. There's options. So, yeah, I do have the Rams not only winning this game, but that would make them Super Bowl champions. So, to quickly recap, going all the way down, we got the Patriots, Bills, Texans, Packers, Eagles, and Rams all winning in the wild card, with the Rams, Seahawks, Bills, and Patriots all winning in the divisional, and the Rams and Patriots winning in the championship, with the Rams taking, all the glory, winning the Super Bowl. Let me know your predictions. By the way, I am recording this on Tuesday, so if there is any major injury news, roster news that I did not hear about, obviously this is going out Wednesday when you're seeing this, just know I'm recording this when I can. Very busy man this week, but after that, cleared up. Thankfully, I do have some pre-recorded Raiders franchise videos that are going to be coming out throughout the week. That'll hopefully, get me through this week with a few videos. Yeah, but I hope you guys enjoyed. I did. Let me know how you think I did in the comments, what you would change, your picks personally, whatever it may be. I'm always open to suggestions, and I'll see you guys next time. Well, it'll be Raiders franchise for sure. There will only be one more NFL video actual NFL video, and that is going to be the end of season power rankings. After that, it's going to be, maybe some other videos predicting, maybe some free agency moves, predicting, mock drafts, obviously I am going to be doing. So, yeah, but I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.